welcome to the Alberta Freemason podcast. I'm Preston Meyer and Secretary-elect and past master of Acacia Lodge number 11, and I'm the editor of this production.
So, of course, I'm Tobias Terrill. I'm a past DDGM from the Chinook Arch District and a member of Charity Lodge number 67 in Lethbridge.
My name is John Hayes. I'm the current Worshipful Master of Highlands Unity 168 and a past Sovereign Grand Master of AMD of Canada.
Bill Brook, past DDGM of Athabasca District and Secretary of Fort McMurray Lodge 195.
I'm Pete Williams. I am a past District Deputy Grand Master of Dinosaur District and a member of Galician Lodge number 36 in Calgary. And I am currently the President and Chairman of the Masonic Foundation of Alberta.
Fred Bowker. I'm a past District Deputy Grand Master of Lakeland District. I have been the District Charities Coordinator since the position was created, I believe. And I've been the Treasurer of the Masonic Higher Education Bursary since that position was created in 2022. And I've been a Director of the Masonic Higher Education Bursary since 2008.
I am Mustafa Aral, current Worshipful Master of Yolcraft Lodge number 196, also a member of Commercial Lodge number 81, and I'm currently filling the position of Masonic Foundation of Alberta Secretary.
Instituted by the Grand Lodge of Alberta in its annual communication of June of 1957 and under the guidance of Most Worshipful Brother Ross Shepherd, who was a member of Acacia Lodge and Lakeland District, the Alberta Masonic Higher Education Bursary Fund, which changed its name last year to Masonic Higher Education Bursary Fund, recognizes, promotes, and supports excellence in education for the benefit of humanity. The intent of the bursary is to prepare an educated workforce to meet the growing and expanding Alberta economy. The Masonic Bursary provides aid to those students wishing to receive a higher education but lacking the funds to do so. Bursaries are provided to students at the post-secondary level of education in Alberta and the Northwest Territories. They are awarded primarily on financial need and proven scholastic ability. Applications can be made on our website the first week of December until the middle of November. Each year, the bursaries are provided in the following manner. We have regular bursaries that are awarded across Alberta and the Northwest Territories, excluding Peace River Regional District, which currently are $6,000. We have two bursaries of just under $10,000 each that are awarded to students in pharmacy and medicine. This bursary was started by Dr. George Duché in memory of his wife, Lorraine. In 2000, we have the Matthews Contract Bursary, which was set up by Matthews Contract, who was a member of Norwood Lodge. And he, on his passing, left us a property in Peace River and a condo in British Columbia, valued at about $2 million. So that fund creates bursaries of $7,500 each to students in a defined area in the Peace River region. There are two $10,000 bursaries that are awarded to students, one who graduates from Lloydminster Composite and one who graduates from Kitscoty High Schools, courtesy of Fred and Lily North Trust Fund. And there is two $6,000 bursaries that are awarded to students of engineering and engineering technology, courtesy of the Wendy and Chris Batty Bursary. And as you all know, at our Grand Lodge functions, we have a guest speaker, one of the individuals, usually who is from the area where Grand Lodge is taking place, who is given an honorarium to come and speak, and that is called the Ross Shepherd Memorial Bursary. Since 1957, the bursary has provided about 3,600 Alberta students with financial aid in about $6.5 million. We continue to meet the objectives of Most Worshipful Brother Ross Shepherd, which was to educate the workforce of Alberta, making Alberta a better place to live.
Most of us on this podcast here have been or are currently DDGMs, and so we recognize the importance of the Masonic Education Bursary Fund when it comes to the charitable giving side of things. It is very, very, very rewarding to be involved in that interview process and to meet some of these amazing young people as they aspire to work through their education. So for those listeners out there, that's something that's just it's incredible to be a part of, and I would encourage you at some point to be a part of that.
The new bursary that we started for law and the humanities in memory of Kyle Scott, and which was really initiated by a large bursary that we received from Brother Ron O'Neill, who was a member of the committee for years and a lawyer.
The funds that go out how comparable are they to the funds that you receive every year?
Well, what the district deputies don't see are the funds that are generated from the investment accounts.
Right.
We get under $100,000 annually from individual membership donations. We get more than that, maybe twice that, from the investment returns of the Matthews contract bursary alone. And then there is the regular bursary, and then there is the $20,000 that comes from Fred and Lily North, and the $12,000 that comes from Wendy and Chris Batty on an annual basis, and the $20,000 that comes from the Lorraine Duché. I don't know if that answers your question, Bill, but
No, absolutely.
We're giving away at least twice as much as we receive from lodge members.
Right.
The applications that we get are very close to 300 every year. So we try to narrow it down based on the formula alone to about 100. To 100, sometimes just over 100, so that each district gets 7 or 8 to interview. And as you mentioned, the interview process is the most important thing today, and it's something that I lobbied for years, because the individuals that go on site or meet the person in person and the family have the highest gut feeling as to whether there's money needed or not. So sometimes the numbers don't tell the truth, but the interview does. The price of education is gone up dramatically in the last 2 or 3 years. So,
can you tell the listeners why the bursary fund split from being administered by the Grand Lodge of Alberta?
Well, to the best of my ability, we were working illegally from 1991, and there was no action taken on it. I think it went unnoticed. You know, we got to keep in mind we're a band of volunteers, not necessarily professionals, in the right areas of work. And there was a letter that came down from Grant Thornton that said, you know, you guys should really look at this, because the Grand Lodge of Alberta is using the GST number from the bursary. And it's better to make the change while you can before you're told to make the change and it costs you a lot of money.
You have Grand Lodge representation on your committee.
We have the Grand Lodge as a director every year. The Grand Master is a director every year for that 1 year.
The bursary fund is not just for universities. It's also accessible to other post-secondary institutions. And I wonder if Fred could clarify what qualifies, and perhaps if there's things that don't qualify, what post-secondary institutions would not qualify. Because I think that's something that a lot of applicants probably do or do not know, but I know most Freemasons probably don't know that either. They hear the bursary fund talked about, but the specific accessibility requirements for the various schooling levels and groups aren't clear to them, I think.
Well, we've looked into it. I think our definition online is satisfactory, but there's such a diversity now. There's online courses that we also fund. Northwest College has a program for legal aid students that is over, they say it's over 2 years in length. And that's our criteria, basically. It doesn't have to be a university.
So basically, any diploma or degree that is 2 years or longer
That's
would
correct.
qualify for funding.
Thank you, Fred, for all of that information. And I think that it's extremely valuable for our listeners to know how that Masonic bursary operates and is utilized each and every year. Masonic Foundation of Alberta.
Yeah, so the Masonic Foundation of Alberta it's simpler than the bursary fund in some ways, and in other ways it's more complicated than the bursary fund. But we are not as we're a lot younger than the bursary fund. But essentially, the Masonic Foundation of Alberta was created in 1992 by a group of Masons in Alberta who essentially they essentially just had a project that they wanted to assist a young man and his family to acquire a van with a wheelchair lift. So he was injured, permanently injured, needed a wheelchair, and this group of Masons in Alberta wanted to provide a van that could accommodate his wheelchair. And it was a small group of Masons in Alberta, and they did some amazing fundraising and were able to assist this young man and his family acquire the funds needed to purchase this wheelchair lift van. And they did a really good job of raising money, and in fact raised more than what they needed to purchase this van. So with the money that was left over, this fine group of Masons in Alberta decided to begin the formal process of constructing the Masonic Foundation of Alberta, to use the remaining funds and potentially grow these funds, and with the express desire of assisting children in need in the province of Alberta. So since 1992, the Masonic Foundation has raised and distributed, and that's an important point, we've raised and distributed over $1.5 million to charities in Alberta and Canada for that matter, but mostly in Alberta, with the focus of assisting children in need and their families and try to make their lives a little bit less challenging. So the way the Masonic Foundation distributes funds, there's two mechanisms, two vehicles by which we distribute funds. First and foremost is the matching of funds raised by individual lodges in the jurisdiction of Alberta. So if a lodge passes the hat around, for example, and raises $1,000, and they wish to donate this $1,000 to a charity in Alberta. Now, keep in mind, it must be a registered charity. It must be a CRA registered charity with a charitable number. But this lodge has raised $1,000 to donate to a charity that they've identified. Now, the lodge can go ahead and give that $1,000 directly to the charity if they wish. But the purpose of the Masonic Foundation is to help and improve on all the charitable endeavors of Masons in Alberta. So that lodge could potentially take that $1,000 and give it to the Masonic Foundation, and the Masonic Foundation will match those funds and double the request to give back to that charity. So if a lodge donates $1,000 on behalf of a charity in Alberta, the Masonic Foundation will take that $1,000 and send back a check for $2,000 for the lodge to then deliver to the charity. So it's it's an excellent way of increasing the our charitable efforts. The other mechanism that is less known because it's a little bit more recent, but the lesser known mechanism by which we distribute funds is the Christmas wish list. The Christmas wish list is essentially a flat $2,000 that is given out to every district in the jurisdiction of Alberta. And the districts can identify and choose a CRA registered charity in their district, and it's a one-time annual gift of $2,000 from the foundation to each district to distribute as they see fit to a registered charity in their district. So in other words, every district in the province has access to this $2,000. It's been somewhat surprising to me the number of districts that do not take advantage of this $2,000 over the course of the past few years that I've been involved. So I really want to raise awareness about the Christmas wish list and ensure that all district deputy grandmasters are made aware of this amount of money that is no questions asked. As long as it's a CRA registered charity, they can pick and choose whoever they wish that money to go to on an annual basis. So Mustafa can correct me on this, but I believe we set the deadline to identify a charity as, was it November 15th or November 30th, Mustafa? One of the two.
I think it was November 15th.
We want to make sure that this Christmas wish list, that everybody is aware of this Christmas wish list option. There's almost no work required to get this $2,000, but we need to know what that charity is. We need the correct charitable name, correct charitable address, and the CRA number for that charity. It can be sent to either myself, to Mustafa as the secretary, or directly to the treasurer. And all of this contact information is available on our brand new updated website, the Masonic Foundation of Alberta.ca. So Tobias, I see you smiling there. You were clearly at Grand Lodge this past June. I know Preston was for sure. But we have updated the Masonic Foundation of Alberta website, and I encourage everybody there to go and watch the very brief 2-minute video on the front page, the landing page of the website, and it will run through exactly what the Masonic Foundation does, how it operates, and a little bit of the history as well.
When you match funds, and this is for clarity, I know the answer again, but so when you match funds, when you provide that $2,000 or $4,000 check or whatever the case may be to that charity, it's in the Masonic Foundation's name, not the lodge's name.
Yep, correct. Thank you, Bill, for bringing that up. That is absolutely correct. It is a point of confusion that we do our best to educate on as often and frequently as possible. But just to clarify what Bill's speaking to, if a lodge selects a charity that they wish to support and they raise $1,000 that they want to give to this charity, in order to utilize the Masonic Foundation of Alberta to match the funds, the lodge must send a check or an e-transfer to the Masonic Foundation. The check has to be written out to the Masonic Foundation in the amount of the funds that they raised. The Masonic Foundation then will deposit those funds and then write a check made out to the charity that was identified by the lodge. We then send that check back to whoever's listed, in the application form as the representative of the lodge. We mail it back to that individual, and the lodge can then go and proceed to donate to that charity, literally physically present the check to them, made out to the charity from the Masonic Foundation of Alberta. And again, actually, it's really just a flow-through mechanism of funds more than anything else. We were blessed by a fairly substantial bequeathal a number of years back from a wealthy brother that left a substantial amount of funds to the Masonic Foundation of Alberta. And so much like what Fred was talking about, we do our best to manage the investment of these funds to hopefully maintain a pool of money that we can use, for years to come. But the fact of the matter is, if we distribute all of our money and the bank account goes down to zero, that's not the worst day either. That just means we've done a really good job of distributing these funds to worthy causes in Alberta. So it would be a bittersweet day if we ever got down to a zero balance. So that's why we also try to recruit. We also try to get to go around and ask for donations as well as possible. And I do try to remind brethren of the bequeathal process. It's really not that hard to do. I've gone ahead and done it myself. With in my will, I am planning to leave an amount of money in my will to the Masonic Foundation of Alberta. It's a really easy thing to do, and there's plenty of brethren out there that could donate $1,000 in their will, and it's not really going to hurt their estate, for lack of a better term.
Lodges presumably across the province are doing charitable work on an ongoing basis. And would you say that anytime they are determining to give money to a registered charity, it would just be almost a no-brainer to call on the MFA and get them to essentially double the donation?
Yeah, I mean, I very much like that statement, John. It should be a no-brainer to go to the Masonic Foundation to help with whatever your charitable endeavors are. Every year at Grand Lodge, some of the past district deputy grand masters of Alpha District get together for a dinner. I'm not a member of Alpha District, but I know a lot of those guys, and they get together every Grand Lodge and just pass a hat around and raise $200, $100, $200, what have you, and they give that $200 to the Masonic Foundation. So we can, and this year they chose the Brown Bagging for Kids organization in Calgary. So they came up with $200 by just passing the hat around at their dinner, and we were able to provide them with a check for $400 to give to the Brown Bagging for Kids Society in Calgary. So I like the little ones myself, John.
I can see how that would make way more impact in the sense, a $400 donation to a very small charity that's just serving a few people and just barely able to do it would make a heck of a lot more of an impact than, say, a $2,000 donation to the United Way, which would go into the pot. And frankly, it would make a ripple maybe, but that's about it. So I can see exactly what you're saying.
Yep, and that right there, you summed it up perfectly, John. That right there is the purpose of the Masonic Foundation of Alberta, to help these little charities.
Yes, and I have been talking to the DDGMs, and I'm kind of pushing it. Because this is first of all the deadline for submissions in November 15th. The main reason we put a deadline, not only make it easier for the treasurer, but also the donations can reach out to people and organizations before Christmas or Christmas time. So that's the meaning of it. So it's still effective after the new year, but we like to make it, that's why we call it Christmas wish list.
It kind of defeats the purpose of the name if we're giving these checks out in January and February, right? So,
yeah. And both of these bodies would probably welcome more volunteers to assist with getting the word out, assist with fundraising, and all kinds of parts of the process. So to the listeners out there, I encourage you to consider not just giving from your wallet. I've preached this many times to many people, but look at your time and be sure to give that as well as you go into the charitable season of Christmas.
Our donations from lodge memberships has gone down annually for the last 10 years. And I don't believe it's a fault of advertising. I send out monthly reports to the district deputy grand masters to provide communication to the lodges. And in my discussions with members of the lodges, they say they've never seen the reports. So a district coordinator would certainly help in those minute, unimportant activities that a DDGM is doing today. Those fine details that, the small things that need to be done, but the water hose effect, as Tobias mentioned, there is an important role for the district coordinator. As the treasurer of the bursary and communicating with all of the DDGMs, I tried to get the names of all the district coordinators, and very few of them have district coordinators at the present time.
So people usually ask me how they can make a difference, and the best way to support the foundation is to get involved, encourage your lodge to sponsor a local charity, and then we'll do the rest and participate in matching the fund opportunities, and then we'll go from there. And also, I always mention to the representatives as well as the district deputy grand masters, we want to make sure that the communities know that Masons care quietly, sincerely, and with purpose. Our communities should know, and they should be informed that that the Masons are part of communities. Like we are the communities. We are in the communities, and we support them.
The Masonic Foundation of Alberta is here to support you in your charitable endeavors as Masons in this jurisdiction. So if you are actively being charitable within your lodge, it should, like John said before, it should almost be a no-brainer to reach out to the Masonic Foundation of Alberta to increase the amount of your charitable effort. And it's only it's a very little minimal amount of paperwork, and that can effectively double your charitable donation. So please contact us, reach out to us, go to the website, masonicfoundationofalberta.ca, watch the 2-minute video. I deliberately kept it down to 2 minutes to try to keep people's attention while we have them. So it's a short period of time, but it does pretty much explain everything in that video.
And I just want to kind of reinforce it, but it's part of your first degree. You know, when we ask you if it's within you to give, would you? And the answer is always I do. So this is a chance to give what you can when you can. So everything counts, whether it's a financial donation or it's a donation of your time for a good cause. So yeah, it's part of one of our tenets. So give to charity. So however it is that you can give, do so.
Yeah, and that was going to be my point as well, was to give from the heart, not just the wallet. When you give from the heart, that can be your time, that can be dedication, commitment. You can do that through volunteering within your communities outside. You can do it through monetary donations and help your community. But if you wear the fact that you're a Freemason on your sleeve, you go out into your community and you do the good work, and you're involved, you're doing just what Mustafa talked about. You're creating awareness, and Freemasons will get known as a kind, caring, and compassionate group that uplifts the communities and makes the community a better place. And that's what we're ultimately striving for. So I would encourage anybody that's listening, if you've got the time and you want to help either of these charities with becoming a volunteer on their different committees and boards, please do. If you'd like to help your district on a district level, becoming a rep or something like that, talk to your DDGMs, get involved there. On a local level, just within your lodge, I am sure that the current worshipful master would love the opportunity to have you help him with maybe doing a fundraising event or assisting with some draws, raffles, things like that, to raise some funds and create some assistance for both of these organizations. So there's a lot of incredible ways that you as individual members can help and strengthen these two organizations. And ultimately, when we do that, we're supporting the craft as a whole. So all of this, everybody wins. So give your time, your heart, whatever you possibly can. And you're absolutely right, Bill. It is part of our tenets. So we need to respect that. We need to follow through on those and do what we can.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Alberta Freemason, with voices from across Alberta and music from the Very Worshipful Grand Organist, Brother Emilio De Mercato. Happy to meet, sorry to part. Happy to meet again.